3 ways to make money online. Number 3, made the most amount. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
So what we want to look at for number 1 is Fiverr. I've done a couple videos on Fiverr, and it's a really good source of income depending on what your skill set is or what you can do. I started off by only doing simple things that I could easily do for clients. So let's jump over there and take a look. So with Fiverr, it is a outsourcing platform. It's been around for a long time. I've used it since 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. And some of the things I'm going to show you is what you can do on here, and some of the things that I'm going to blur out or cover because of just some privacy issues. As you can see, my level is level 2, and you can go up to several higher levels, and typically the higher level you are means better that you are at what you do. So if I go to level overview, your level 2 status is at risk. Surprise, you have until June 29th to get back on track. So what it's saying is my response rate is a little slow, which it is what it is, but you can see our earnings, $4,500. And what I'm going to show you, they say, hey, Sloan, that's not, like, I want to make more money than that. You've made that over a long period of time. But what I want to show you is, if you're sticking with this, what you can start to make. I would always go back and forth between doing things on Fiverr and then using other platforms. All right, so again, it shows your progress tracker. Level 1, you have your new one, and then you can be able to top rate, okay? You can check out how you can become different level and sellers on there. Let's go to my business, and let's just jump over straight to the earnings. All right, so what I want to show you is earnings today, $4,500. All right, and again, you may look at that and go, that's not really a whole lot of money, but if you knew the kind of things I did for it, meaning that anyone can do, then you can see how easy this earning potential is. Expenses today, that means I spent $1,200. I used to have an online marketing business for small companies that I would pay some outsourcers here to do, so I would just use the balance that I had. And you see withdrawn, most of it. So we can take a look at earnings, $40 at a time. I made $12.60. All the red you see is just me withdrawing. $4, $16, $40, $52, $24, $120, $10, $40, $40, $21, $120. And this balanced out to be maybe about $25 an hour. So it'd be $50 an hour. But once I got better and quicker at what I was doing, then I made more money at that. So let's take a look at what is it that I was actually doing. So you go to gigs, that's what they call the jobs that you offer. Now, honestly, is this one job right here. Create your PowerPoint presentation, Keynote, and Google Slides. Now, again, in another video on my channel, you can go and see a little bit more in depth on that, but you can go and look at videos that'll teach you how to be really good at PowerPoint, Keynote, or Google Slides. I would recommend, if you're going to do this, do PowerPoint presentations. I find that they're the easiest to make, and they have the smallest learning curve. Keynote's really nice. The PowerPoint's a lot easier in my opinion. Now you'll see it says 338 impressions, 3 clicks, 0% cancellation. But again, these are what I used to make money with in the past. So you don't have to do it that way. You could just be a virtual assistant. You just put a VR, and people may have you just pull data for them. You could take a look at it. Switch to buying. So now I'm in the buying end of it, and these are all the different categories that you could find something to do in. But if you just want to be a virtual assistant, which is really the easiest for some people to start off with, because they feel like they don't know anything, they don't know how to do anything, and they really know way more than what you think you do. So here it is. I'll serve you as a virtual assistant for data entry, lead generation, starting at $20. This one's starting at $10, $5. You're not going to make money just doing $5. Again, you are building up. I used to offer my first 2 services free so that I could get these reviews, and then I would start charging them. Here's one virtual assistant that would do cold calling, $350. Your party supply and toy sourcing agent virtual assistant, $5. They've had 6 orders. So again, there's a lot of different things that you can find on here. And if you get really good at what you do here, then this is kind of bonus. Take what you do there and go to Upwork. Upwork has way more virtual assistant, way more outsourcing. Has way more than I would say Fiverr does, and higher quality leads and jobs, and you can charge more. So I would usually say get really good at what you do on Fiverr, and then you can stay here with Upwork. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, Etsy. All right, now that I'm signed in on Etsy, I want to show you a couple things. Now, Etsy was where I started making items online, and I tried to really push physical products on Etsy. But you can see when I show you over here to, so if I go to monthly statements in 2016, you can see that there's not a lot made here. $9, $60, $100 that month, $19, $42. So it was pretty inconsistent. And so then I jumped on to something that was thought. Now again, these right here, what I was making kids lightsabers out of PVC pipes, selling for birthday parties. I was also making little baseball necklaces and basketball necklaces, which I actually outsourced. But I was making little things in my garage to sell on Etsy. But I thought, this is not the amount of money that I want to be doing. I want more money. So that's number two. Etsy, you can make money online this way. And maybe you make a cutting board, which takes off. So again, I'm showing you ways that you can make money online depending on what you do. But let's get to number three. And number three is an arbitrage method with Etsy. So when I jump up to 2017, now I want you to look at the income. $285, $1,300, $928, $1,000, almost $3,000 here. September, you can see $6,900 in sales. So what was it that I was doing to make $6,000, $2,000, $3,000? Let me show you. So I come over here to listings, and let's just go to inactive. So on inactive, you can see cosplay, where people dress up like science fiction characters a lot of times, is a huge market. And what I was doing through this arbitrage method was, and you can see those are the lightsabers I was talking about earlier. Here's the ones I make. This is just a PDF I'd sell. But you can see these costumes here. People would dress up like this in these cosplay conventions all year long. And that is a very passionate niche to be in. Anytime you see this 175, 187, I was buying them for maybe $100. So I was profiting $87, $75, $98 every time somebody bought one. Now, was I making these? No. I had a connection that I made through Alibaba in China that would make these. You would get their measurements, send it to them, they would send it to the customer, and all you did was just do the administrative work. Basically, I would just fill out the order after they sent me the stuff. That was it. 5 minutes, I would make $98. 5 minutes of work, another 98. 5 minutes, 55, 65. Just 5 minutes of work, I was making a lot of money. And the thing is sometimes if they messed up, I would just give them a refund, and it wasn't worth shipping back to China. But what I want to show you is, let's spell that right, like Alibaba, but just kind of an off thing. So if I wanted to search, all right, so AliExpress here, if I wanted to do Star Wars costumes, all right, so I would find the adult version of the Star Wars costumes. There's the kids version. Got the adult version. And for example, this would have been perfect right here, $54 with shipping, $2 more. And I would click on this. I would contact a couple of the people that made these. I would look for the higher end ones, because I knew those would be done a little bit better. So I would contact them and say, hey, can you cut me a deal if I order a bunch of these? And sometimes I would. This was a huge seller right here. Hey, from Star Wars, her outfit. The movie had just come out, so that one was a big selling point. It was a big selling item. This would be $131, so I'd put it in usually typically around $200, maybe $199. So as soon as someone would order it off Etsy, I'd come on here and order it. The same measurements, put in their shipping address, and I would make $60 for about 5 minutes worth of work. Now, some may say, all right, why did you leave that? Why did you stop doing that? My factory over there that was making these ended up changing and not making them anymore. And they started making more and more mistakes, so I had to go find a different person to buy those from. But just saw it may not have been long term, because I was getting a little bit tired of some of the mess ups, and I didn't want to spend the time to go find something else. And just like you, sometimes I get bored, I want to move on to something else. But this works, as you saw in all the prices and you saw from the money that came in on Etsy. This works, and the only thing that Etsy requires is that you put your partner in. So I would put, my partner was the contact in China. There's my partner. So I would stay within the terms of service from Etsy. But there are 3 ways right there that you can make money. All of them are free to start, except for Etsy. You have to pay a couple of, you got to pay less than $1 to get your listing posted. But all of those right there are 3 free ways you can start making money online. And when you grow those, you can grow those as large as you want them to. All right, so I hope you enjoyed those 3 ways that you can make money online. And let me know what you think.